Here we go. We are live. And this is so exciting. I'm so thrilled. I have someone here really special with me, and I'm going to introduce her in 1 second. But you are tuned in to Empowering You to Fly, First Love Yourself with Stacey Moore. Together, each week, we will take steps to focus on finding your strengths, purpose, and passion in order to help you live out loud and on your terms each and every day. And I'm here to wake you up, to be your fire starter and your spark, and to remind you to totally shine bright. As always, of course, you can reach me at staceymoore.fit. You can connect with me through here. And we are here to focus on the facets to fly, which is focus, fitness, fuel, family, and fun. And today I'm so excited because, like I said, I have someone really special here with me, and she's at her house and I'm at mine because during these times, this is where we're at. And I've got Wumi Agunbiade with me, and I am so thrilled to have her in this space with me. I'm going to talk a little bit about her. So Wumi actually went to Dunbarton in Pickering, and she played basketball there as a young girl. And then as she was growing up, she got a bachelor's in psychology and a minor in sociology at Duquesne University. She was down there on a full scholarship for basketball. She played on the Canadian national team 4 times for 4 different seasons. Of course, she was a D1 student athlete. She's played professional basketball in 3 countries, and I'm going to let her talk about that as far as her seasons and her background. She is a Toronto All-Star and played on their team as a Rookie of the Year. She was 6-time Rookie of the Year, 3-time All-Conference team in the A10, 2nd-time all-time leading scorer. She was Newcomer of the Year as a pro. And at the University of Pittsburgh, she was a graduate assistant. She coaches for the Raptors 905 organization. So she's working with professional athletes. She's a junior coach there, and she's the program director of Make It Whoop. And oh my goodness, look at all those accolades. I am just like, so excited that you're here with me, Wumi. This is so great. So you want to say hi?
Yeah, of course. Hello, everyone. Hope everyone's keeping safe. Strange times, but hey, we're here to just make the best of it. So I'm just here. I'm happy to just chat it up with you. And anyone have questions, any listeners, like feel free to, you know, let them be known, and we'll answer them, and we'll just get right into it and get to chatting.
Sounds so good. So let's go back a little bit, because clearly you've had a ton of accolades in your basketball career, and it's something that you've turned into not only a passion and a purpose, and then now a business as far as what you're doing in your career and in your work. But let's go back to Wumi when she was young, and you were looking forward to, I guess, maybe being a professional athlete. Did you think that that was something that you were going to pursue when you were younger? How did that all come about?
Honestly, I had no idea what was at the end of the tunnel, like no clue. But I knew that there had to have been a light, and I knew that basketball would carry me along the way, and it's been my vehicle. And I preach it over and over and over again, that use it as a vehicle. I mean, it's taken me around the world and introduced me to a lot of cool people, cool places. And I mean, the game was just something that I loved, was never forced upon me. And as I continue to, grow and find myself more and more, the game was just, it was within every step and every move that I made. So it started off with just a passion. I mean, and it was something that I was introduced to just from, in passing of walking down walking throughout the park, and people are playing basketball, and I'm just intrigued, and being at daycare before I even knew myself, and just always playing with the basketball or any ball at that, and just playing with my hands and never my feet. Wasn't too fond of soccer, but I found a way through the game of basketball, and it's just taken me from one step to another. And yeah, and then I started playing professionally, and I'm sure we'll get more into all that. But again, I had no idea that I'd be a professional basketball player.
Wow. So thinking back on the career that you've had, and kind of putting yourself back in those shoes when you were a young girl, because there's probably a lot of young girls who are going to watch this, and they have dreams and they have goals and they have aspirations. They want to spread their wings and fly. Maybe it's in basketball, maybe it is in soccer or hockey or other things. What would you say to a young athlete who is committed to pursuing their dreams and wants to find a path, or even just an outlet to be able to love sport and do what they're loving to do?
I mean, I think it really just starts with, of course, just finding the passion, finding the dream. And then with every waken movement thought that you have, it needs to be surrounded around that passion and dream, and there'll be times where things are a little murky, but throughout those times, the uncertain times and the uncomforting times, that's when you really need to zero in on the passion and the dream, right? Because then once you do that, you kind of blind everything else out that may not be serving you towards that passion and dream. And you just don't want anything to get in the way of that. So just keeping your focus on what it is that you want and pursuing it relentlessly, I think that'll help athletes go towards, what they're destined to become. And really and truly, there are no mistakes. I'm a firm believer that there is no mistake. So when you hit a bump or there's a barrier in front of you, like rest assured, there's going to be a way around it. So just follow the dream.
And you really talk a lot. I know you've met my daughter, Eiley, and you guys connected through basketball and a program, of course, through Basketball Canada. And you've talked to her a lot about finding ways to separate yourself or to distinguish yourself as far as the work that you're doing. So what would you say as far as that work commitment? Because you just said relentless. So if someone's really got a big goal and a big dream, how do you really pursue that to separate yourself from the crowd?
I mean, it's just a matter of investments, right? And investments and sacrifice, and they go hand in hand where, you find ways to separate yourself based on one, what your God-given gifts and talents, sure. But then there's another layer to that where it's the hard work and it's the stuff that you do when no one's watching. And it's the stuff that you do when you're not waiting for an applause, right? It's those little things that you do and you make it a habit, and then before you know it, things just start lining up, and then next thing you know, you're getting calls and offers from colleges, universities, different schools, trying to try to be a part of the mix because they see that you've got something special. And you mentioned your daughter Eiley, and it was during that camp when I'm watching these a bunch of girls play, and I saw her, and she just had that fearless, a bit of just fearlessness to her. And her team sat down, I sat beside her just like I would any individual I see playing and loving the game. And I'm like, hey, you got something special, like keep working hard, and sometimes it takes one or two people to share a message like that in order to lift up an athlete. And I think, a lot of us are in positions to do so. And I think it's up to us to try and help these young athletes, find their dreams and continue to pursue whatever they want with confidence. So, I mean, back to your question, it's investments and sacrifice. That's how you separate yourself. And then it's really just taking a second and looking at yourself in the mirror and figuring out what you're good at and how you can continue to capitalize on that, and just being really adaptable and adjusting to different climates. So yeah.
Mm. So I think you're really talking about those habits, and especially during this time, right? There's a lot of uncertainty. There's a lot of stuff going on right now that's a little bit different in our world, but there are still things that everyone can be doing to work towards their goals. And it really comes down to those habits, how you're setting up your day. Maybe it's some organization. And you mentioned being relentless, right? So if you have that big burning desire to achieve something, whether it's in sport or it's in something else in your life, it is a matter of having those habits that are really high performance habits that are going to get you where you want to go. And you have to be dedicated. Maybe you do have to sacrifice, like you're saying, you might have to give up some TV time or, time where you're on a screen or doing other things that most kids or most people in general might want to do and preoccupy their time with. And having those moments where you're like, no, I'm going to get up and pound a ball or shoot the hockey puck or get outside on the rollerblades or whatever it might be, right? They need to have those moments of habits and activity. Would you say that's correct?
100%. You got it right there. You hit it right on the nail. It's all about habits, and creating a routine for yourself, even though you might have the most freedom in the world. And I always say every choice that you make, there is a consequence to that. So with everything that you do, every opportunity you have to make a decision, to make a choice, there is something on the other side of that. Right. So when we go through our day-to-days, like we're constantly making choices. Should I eat the cupcake or should I eat the apple? You know, like, and it's little things like that. It's our diet. It's our mental health, you know, looking in the mirror and feeling good about yourself. And if you're not feeling too good about yourself, then that's where you need to challenge yourself a little bit. And it might be you looking within, or that might be you reaching out to somebody else. But I think it's our daily habits, our routines that begin to shape and form who we are. So yeah, you hit it on the nail.
So clearly, you had those habits from a very early age, and it was something that you worked on and you developed. And then you probably had to take it to even another level in order to get to the point where you had opportunities for scholarship. So, can you walk us through how that kind of worked for you, and where did you find the opportunities for exposure and getting yourself out there so that you were noticed? Because I think sometimes people have questions about that. Well, I'm from a small town, maybe in Canada. How am I possibly going to get noticed by a coach, whether it's on the U Sports stage in Canada or it's going to be down at the NCAA level? How are people going to bridge that gap?
And again, I have like a lot of different analogies and just like things that I've experienced within my life that I can talk on behalf of. And I think regardless of where you play, the right eyes will always see you, you know, and if you're putting in the work, you know, it's only a matter of time where someone's going to notice. And then all it takes is that one person to then relay the message. And before you know it, things will just ripple. Right. And it's doing this stuff where doing things when no one's watching. Right. So then when the lights are finally on, you're out there ready to perform. So now we're in a time where we're all at home, we're all in the same situation. Some of us may have a bit more resources than others, but again, it's up to you to you know, leverage what you have and use what you have to its full capacity. And if it's just an open space on the floor, then use it. You know, and it doesn't have to be. You don't need like a really long driveway or anything outside of just a little bit of space, and you can you can find ways to make it happen, you know. So when kids talk about, or parents at that talk about exposure and the recruitment process and, oh, do I need to play in this tournament, that tournament? Yeah, sure, they all help for sure, but if you're just showing up, that's not going to cut it, right? It's making sure that you're prepared for when the lights are on, then you're ready to go out there, perform, and it takes that one person to see you, and then things will just start to add up and things will start to come. So it comes back to investments, the habits, doing the things like daily to then create more of a defined you that you're able to now showcase.
Mhm. I love that. It's a little bit of almost the law of attraction, right? What you focus on, you'll find, and what you focus on will grow, and the right people will show up, those right opportunities will come, but you have to put in the work first, and you have to have that mindset of, this is what I want to achieve, this is what I'm focused on, this is what I'm doing. And when you put in the work and you have those habits, then those right opportunities will show up, is basically what you're saying.
There you go. There you go. Exactly. Exactly right.
Well, I think of how, again, how we met, right? I'm so grateful that we are now friends and you get to talk to Eiley, and we have that connection around a shared purpose and vision in really helping and empowering people to be their best. And we have a very similar message, I think. But I don't think it was a chance or just a random occurrence that we were both in the gym at the same time and you just happened to sit down with my daughter, and all of a sudden there are those connections. And then we realized that there were more connections as far as, where she's going to play, and, opportunities that she's seeking to really, follow through with. And you had some of those similar opportunities in your own life, and maybe even some of those same coaches. So I don't think things are random in life.
Not at all. There's never a mistake in anything, and nothing just happens like that, you know. And again, like it was your daughter who struck me, and it wasn't just her just showing up. It was
That's okay. That's okay. It's just life. It's life. It's good.
This is our new environment, so it is what it is.
Totally.
But it took her, investing, putting some time in her craft and then going out there performing, not knowing who was out there in the stands, right? And before you know it, I see her and then talk for a little bit. And it took me a while to get out the gym finally. But when I did, I ran into you, so like things just don't happen by an accident. And again, for anyone who's listening, put in the work, and it'll pay itself tenfold.
Mhm. All right, so let's talk a little bit about your experience with the national team. What was the highlight of playing for Team Canada?
Ooh, I'd have to say the national anthem. Like
Uh,
every single one always, it's something that's like really moving, and to know that you're representing your country, playing against the best of other countries, and you're one of those select few that are wearing Canada across your chest. And in the front, you're representing Canada, but in the back, you also are representing your family, your friends back home, like everything or everyone that's connected to you. So like within one person, you're representing a lot, and then to hear the national anthem, and that it's just a very moving moment. And then of course, when the ball is thrown up and it's time to play ball, you go out there and battle. But I would definitely say it's every single national anthem that I heard. So those moments are really, really special, and I hold on to.
hmm. And so, what countries did you play in? You, of course, you played some professional ball as well. So, where did you play?
Professionally, I played in Romania, Italy, and Germany.
Mm.
Awesome, awesome experiences. People ask me all the time my favorite country that I played in. That's always a toss up. Competition, I played at the highest competition or highest level of competition in every country. But then as far as the food, I would probably say Italy. And I think the Romanians and the Germans, they'll be okay with that if I say Italy. But it was an awesome experience, and then again, the game is the one that the game gifted it to me, but it's the investments that I put into it that was able to that open up those doors for me. And then with the
Okay.
national team, I've traveled all over, China, Korea, uh, Brazil, Montenegro, Chile. The list goes on. The list goes on. Yeah,
Oh,
really, really special.
what an experience. I love that you said that the game gave you that gift, but you put in the work in order to get there. And you gave me shivers when you talked about the national anthem, but also that you're representing your country on the front. But I never thought about that. Your name is on the back of your jersey, and all of your family and everything that's come together to get you to that point. You have to have a lot of support and a lot of people in your corner who are there and who maybe are asking you, did you do your workout? I think of my dad, my parents who supported me through so much of my own athletic career. And my dad would be like, hey, did you go for your run today? Did you put in the time? And he was out driving when I had long runs, and he'd be behind me in the dark in the snow when I'm outside running telephone pole to telephone pole. And he was with me, right? And pushing me and challenging me. Did you have someone like that in your life that was really kind of always by your side? And when you had that jersey on your back, you were really thinking about those people?
100%. And it's my mother, it's my siblings, and like during the national anthem, it's you have about what, like 2.5 minutes or so, and within every single second, there's just people that are just flashing across my mind, and it's all the people that came in my life and impacted it in a positive way, and it's people that are here with me today, and then people who've also passed. All those people I know in some way, shape, or form, they've had an impact in my life directly or indirectly.
Mhm.
So like it's all surrounding gratitude and just like giving thanks to the opportunity and giving thanks to the people, especially because again, I couldn't do it on my own. And when I have a practice at 7 or 8 a.m. and got to leave the house at 7 a.m. So my mom's in the kitchen at 5:30 to make sure I have something to eat, and she's waking me up, and I wake up for a quick second, I'm ready to fall back asleep. She's the one to come back in the room like, hey, it's time to get up, and it's all those little things that equate to becoming a professional and now becoming a coach, and now like everything just adds up at the end of the day.
So an attitude of gratitude is totally going to determine really the latitude that you're going to fly at, right? So
Right.
transitioning from there, tell us about your experience now. You're coaching with the 905 Raptors, you're working with professional athletes, you're giving back to, the program and the sport that you love. So tell us a little bit about your coaching journey, because I know it started, of course, at the University of Pittsburgh when you were down there doing you were doing your master's, right?
Correct.
Okay, and you were coaching, and then you transitioned up into the 905 Raptors. So tell us a little bit about that experience.
Yeah, I mean, again, it's something I didn't see coming. I never thought there'd be a day I'd be coaching professional men and men that played in the NBA and they're aspiring to play in the NBA.
Mhm.
But the game, there's so many things that can come from this game that are unknown, right? And it comes down to your heart, your desire, your intentions, and the amount of investments and sacrifices that you're willing to make for the game, right? And it applies to everything in life. And it was I was finishing up my career as a professional, and things didn't end out the it didn't end the way I thought it would end. It ended with an injury, just like something that was ongoing, and just got to a point where it was like, hey, I need to put the ball down, and eventually put the ball away and started making calls to old coaches, letting them know that hey, I'm no longer going to be playing. Opportunity presented itself at University of Pittsburgh, and I immediately jumped on it. I'm going back to my second home, went back there and started coaching as a graduate assistant, went through two staffs. So I learned a ton from two sets of staff members. Really cool experience. Got my master's, of course, learned a lot about the game. I got my MBA, and then further wrapped up my time at the University of Pittsburgh. Then it was time for me to now transfer, like reach out to other schools and universities that may have opportunities, because within the NCAA, things, positions come and go like the wind. So I was just looking for my opportunity. Things were coming, couldn't hold on to it because I didn't have my visa. Being a Canadian working in the United States, you need to have a visa, and my visa didn't come in the mail yet. So long story short, I decided to come back home, reached out to a couple of people, and applied for this position with the Raptors 905. Had no idea if I was ever going to get it. And phone rang 2 days later to set up an interview. Did that, and just from talking with the head coach and for him just learning more about me as a person, that's what really gravitated him towards me. And he offered me the job a couple days later, and then things just opened up from there. But again, something I didn't see coming, and it was a disappointment, and I say disappointment in quotations, of my visa not coming in the mail. But then what came out of it was something greater than I could ever imagine, which is working with the Raptors 905. So the experience has been awesome.
So good. And so from there, of course, you're going to be continuing to work with them. And I think that you mentioned you're doing some interesting things even during these challenging times where you're still involved, you're still working with the athletes, you're helping them grow and personally develop over the time and connecting with them. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely correct.
And then you're
And I'm just
sorry, go ahead.
no, I was just saying I was taking time to just connect with them virtually, and we'll just talk. We'll talk basketball. We'll talk some hoops. And then we'll also just share a laugh or two, and just get to know who they are beyond the jersey, And it's been really, really cool to connect with some athletes and let them know and that I'm not just a basketball player or a basketball coach. I'm also an aunt, as you saw earlier. I'm also I'm also, really interested and fascinated with food. So I'm trying new foods, and we're sharing things that we're both making, and it's just tapping into the fact that you're more than just an athlete. And we're hearing it more and more these days, and it's absolutely true. So it's been cool to connect with these young athletes and just getting to know who they are outside the basketball court.
Awesome. Yeah, there's
Yeah.
so many facets to everyone. It's not just about, I'm just a basketball player. And I love that you're working and delving into new things with food and nutrition. And now's the time to try, because we actually have the time, right? And we're home, and you can kind of try new things and mix it up a little bit, which is great. And I know as well you were going to do some work with regards to Basketball Ontario. You were going to coach the U15 girls team as well. And, we don't know what's going to happen with that, of course. But as far as like coaching younger athletes, where do you see your impact there? And how do you see that you can really give back to some of those young athletes?
I think the opportunities are endless there. And, given that I was one at some point in time, I was a 15-year-old girl that was trying out for a team that didn't know she was going to make it or not. And, I was that girl who made the team, who didn't know she was going to start or not. So like, I feel as though I'm able to relate with a lot of athletes and connect with them because I've been in their shoes. And I think my experience with the Raptors has definitely added a lot of value to me and opened up my eyes to another layer of the game of basketball. And I think I'm in a position now where I can now share all that information, right? And try and help our young athletes become better on the court and become more whole athletes as players, yes, but also as people, and just like learning things and just being able to implement them within different teams I'm definitely looking forward to it. Who knows what's going to happen with Team Ontario? Hopefully things pick back up, but we'll see.
And if it's not this season, then hopefully it'll be next season, right? There's always going to be an opportunity.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So absolutely.
So I'm watching the live feed, and I'm just seeing if anyone has any questions for Coach Wumi, and you want to ask, you can pop them in the comments, and you can let us know if there's any questions that you would like to have answered. Maybe you're a young athlete watching and you have a question. Maybe you just want to learn a little bit more about basketball, whatever it might be. If you want to pop something in the comments, then please do that. In the meantime, where can people find you, Wumi? How can they connect with you if they want to learn a little bit more about training with you? Because I know that you are doing some training with young athletes, especially basketball players. So how can they connect with you?
You can find me on social media, Instagram, Twitter as Coach_Wumi, and that's WUMI. You can catch me on there, and my door is wide open. My emails are always open, and direct messages, anything. Feel free to reach out to me there, and I'll be posting content about like myself, my journey, and also how I can help young athletes, continue to develop. Then there's the other side of it where I have my organization's page that's up called Make It Hoop, and it's MAKEITWHOOP. There's a meaning behind that name, and I guess I can elaborate now, but it's Make It Hoop, and the emphasis is on who, right? And I'm trying to help young athletes figure out who they are more and more through the game, and just trying to, use the resources that I've been able to accumulate throughout my years and trying to connect the dots. So you can find me at Coach Wumi or Make It Hoop on Instagram and/or Twitter.
Okay. Well, I'm sure that your inbox will probably be filling up with lots of questions and things that people might want to learn more about. And I know that we've been following you on Instagram, and you had some really awesome videos up there. We pulled out the ladders in our living room, and Eiley was pounding a ball and using like shake canisters and paint cans, whatever she could to, tap and use the ball at the same time. So like you said, it doesn't take a lot of space. It just takes a drive and a motivation to stick with it and to really pursue your passion and your goals. Don't quit. Don't throw in the towel now just because things are different. Keep moving forward one step every single day, right?
That's exactly right. Just keep going. Keep going.
Awesome. All right. Well, I think on that note, we're going to wrap things up. So as always, like I mentioned before, my mission is to wake you up, to light your flame, and to show you how to guard it from those who might want to extinguish it. And instead, we're going to stand together as a beacon of light, love, possibility, and tribe, totally being empowered to fly. We're going to focus on focus, fitness, fuel, family, and fun. Let us know how this message touches your heart. And if you want to speak further with either one of us to explore anything Of course, you can find me at Stacey Moore on Instagram. It's Stacey G Moore. It's Stacey Moore on LinkedIn and on Facebook, and StaceyMoore.fit. I also have Fly Girls Fitness going on every single day. We have a YouTube channel, Fly Girls Inc. by StaceyMoore.fit. So if you want to follow along with us with daily workouts every morning at 9:30 during the week, we're there live on Facebook as well as Instagram. And as always, I want to see you smile, to laugh out loud, to love with all of your heart, and to do the things that light you up inside. Together, we can lift each other up. And when we are surrounded by our tribe, we can literally fly. Have a great day, everyone. Thank you so much, Wumi, for tuning in and joining in with me. And everyone out there, have a wonderful day. Stay healthy and safe.
All right. Thank you.